My name is Bish Wolf.
I've met you down at Cedar Haven in the past, and
Yeah.
you were always volunteering. How long have you been volunteering at Cedar Haven?
This will be my 19th year.
And how many hours a week do you put in?
Well, I do about four each day, 4 or 5 each day, until I'm off on a Thursday. But I go down even on a Sunday because they're short in needing people to feed. So I'm there over the noon hour to feed.
What is the technique to feed? Is there anything special people have to know to volunteer to feed?
Well, you have to wait until they swallow it, and also not to put too much on the spoon. And some take a long time until they remember to swallow.
So it's just patience.
It's patience, yes, and I did the same thing with my children. Some people say wouldn't know, they're uncomfortable to do it, but to me it's just a simple thing.
And I also saw where you started the Halcyon Center.
Yes.
And what inspired you to do that?
Well, it was originally started by the Mental Health Association, and we felt the need to re-socialize. We had started the workshop, and then we felt that it was a need to do it in another area.
And what inspired you personally to work with mental health?
I just, well, originally I came acquainted because my grandmother they called it hardening of the arteries, but to me I guess it would be the same as dementia now. And that was my first experience to deal with somebody with a mental condition.
And so, did you say your grandmother?
Yes.
What was her name?
Her name was Grace France.
Okay, so she taught you all this love and compassion and
Well,
patience.
It was just being exposed to something like that.
Hmm. That's pretty amazing. You also volunteer at Hershey Park. Why do you do that? You like it?
Oh yes, I'm up there. This will be the 19th year. When I go up, I guess I'm one of the oldest volunteers, and it's gotten to the point that they say, "What would you like to do?"
And what do you tell them?
Well, I usually operate rides, and most of the time I'm at the carousel.
I'll have to look for you next time I'm up there. And anybody else who's listening can look you up too and say, "Hi, Bish." How about that? So, you also make beds, put away laundry, that kind of thing over at Cedar Haven,
Well,
right?
3 or 4 people on each shift get a whirlpool or get a bath, and their beds are stripped, and then I sterilize the mattress, spray disinfectant on it, and make the bed. And if there's a need during the week, the beds are stripped, and then that's one thing that I can take the time to do, so the people on the floor can go ahead and do other things.
That's wonderful. That's very kind of you. But you know, I go to like the Patriot Day concert and just different concerts throughout the year. I'm trying to think if it's Memorial Day, I don't know, Flag Day, there's different concerts. And I see you playing this little tiny piccolo, flute, and things. How did you learn to play music like that?
Well, they started me on piano when I was a child, and my teacher, for some reason, made us count out loud. And then in about 3rd or 4th grade, we had some instructor come with tonettes, and it was an instrument. And I discovered that if you played something like that, you wouldn't be able to count out loud. So playing the flute, you can't count out loud.
So that's why you liked doing that, because your mouth was busy and you didn't have to count. That's pretty good. Well, you got really good at it.
Well, I was original member of the Lebanon Community Concert Band, and I'm still involved in it.
Okay. And you received the Jefferson Award from WGAL.
Yes.
You got something from the Seroptimist, and the women helping women. Can you talk about that a little bit? What was that like?
It was all for recognizing my volunteering.
Well, you do a stellar job. Can you tell me a little bit about your family?
I have 3 boys, and one lives in California, the other lives in New York, and one lives here in town.
And what are their names?
Well, the oldest one is Carl III, and he has now taken over my husband's driver ed business, and also does officiating for sports. He's retired from teaching school. And David is in California and works for Warner Brothers.
Oh,
And the youngest one is Peter, and he lives in New York and works, he's a production stage manager on Broadway.
well, that's pretty impressive. Wow. And your husband's name, did you say?
Carl
Okay.
Wolf Jr. And the Wolf doesn't have an E. He always was concerned about that.
Okay. And I remember Carl passed away some time back. How long ago was
It's
that?
now 10 years.
10 years. So you're a widow,
Yes.
and you just keep giving to others. If you had to tell anyone watching in the future some words of advice or wisdom or philosophy, what would you say to them?
Well, God expects you not to have an ability, but to be availability, to be available to do things. And I feel I have. He's given me good health, and I think I should share it with other people, and serve other people instead of them serving me.
You are quite the inspiration. Thank you for sharing.